Hey, what's up guys? This is King Vox, and today I wanted to make this video for new players. So yes, this is going to be a new player guide, and I'm going to try to cover as much information as possible. This video might be quite lengthy, but I'm going to try to hit all points. This is going to help people that are just coming to the game on trying to figure out a direction on where to go, what all the game has available to you, as well as what to do once you hit 80, depending on what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? So hope you guys enjoyed. This is King Vox. Enjoy the video. Okay guys, so first things first, you just got in the game and you're a new player. Okay, the first thing you're going to worry about is either map completion, which is this game version of quests. They're pretty much tasks that are laid out all around the game in the form of these little hearts. The cool thing about this is you can always run to one, start one. If you get busy, you can go off, you can do another one, and you can come back to one. Say if one's very tedious or something like that, you can do one like over here, you know, and as you see, they have two other ones over there. You can do those, or you can really run past them and go straight to ones over here. It's no specific order because they're not like your average quests from regular games. What they are is just you helping the game and immersing into the game in a PvE experience. So they are this game's version of quests, but you're not obligated to like sit there and do it if you start one. You can always come back at any point in the game. Sometimes I even come back to some of them once I'm max level and strong enough. You know, you're going to hit max level way before you finish all of them. Now, as you can see on this character, this is my main, and I've done 100% world completion on this character. Now, world completion and doing these hearts are not account wide, they're more character progression. So once you do them all and you go onto another character, the map's not going to be open for the other character just because you've done them all on one, sadly. But as you can see, I've done all of the map that's required for map completion, which is the base game. You should have all this stuff for free, so there's definitely not a lack of content for you guys. And if you're able to really immerse into the game, you'll really love this. Now, the second thing you have is your personal story. Now, there's nothing wrong with starting your personal story as soon as you start the game. Actually, I recommend that you do hearts and do your personal story together. You do your personal story until it's too hard for you, then you start focusing on hearts and stuff like that and map completion to level up. All the while you're going to be discovering all the new areas and everything through a map completion and be able to teleport just about anywhere. You see what I'm saying? So then when it's time to do your personal stories, you can just teleport to where you need to go, and it makes it a lot easier. So sometimes I like to do a little bit of map completion before my personal story, and then that way you kind of understand everything they're talking about in a personal story because you kind of experienced it. Sometimes they'll reference, you know, maybe this guy right here. Oh man, remember the this dude over here with the pat bull that you had to escort somewhere? You know, you assisted him, and they'll reference him in your story maybe later on. And this is just a you know, what are they called? Um this is just an idea of some of the stuff that can happen in your personal story. And by doing map completion, it kind of, you know, makes you understand more the world. So when stuff does pop up, you're like, oh yeah, I know about that. Oh yeah, I seen that. Oh yeah, I seen those lizards. Oh my goodness, those other, like, you know what I'm saying? So that's why sometimes I recommend doing map completion, at least on your main character, before doing your personal story. But you can do either or. Some people won't do map completion. To someone that's been playing the game since it came out, they probably won't give you good information when it comes to map completion, because some people absolutely hate it. They're like, oh my goodness, you know. But for a new player, I'm telling you guys, it's very nice, and it's a very good way to immerse into the game. Even to this day, I try to do map completion on all my characters, and it's fun, especially if you're a role player. You could definitely get into the roles the way the quests are set up in this game. Okay. Okay, guys. So there's several different rarities in this game, and as a new player, I wouldn't worry about it too much. For your items, I would make sure you have power. Like, see this war horn right here has power on it. Don't worry about stats or anything like that for starting off. Just play the game, enjoy it, and wear the quest items and stuff like that that you get from leveling up and just adventuring. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm going to explain the rarities in the game for level 80s and regular people. So you have this, which is, this is a skin one. This is just, I think it's called junk tier. It's basically white tier. You don't really want it. And then you have the fine, which is blue. Then you have green. Green is masterwork. And then you have rare, which is yellow in this game. And then you have exotic. Now, there is two more rarities above exotic, but exotic is kind of in game. Exotic is where you want to get. Okay, then there's one more set above exotic, okay, for in game, and that's Ascendant. And I'll show you guys my equipment. As you can see right here, I'm Ascendant, and Ascendant gear is all pink. So pink is the top status set. Now there's a set higher than this, but it's purely cosmetics, and it's called legendary. Legendary armor is the same as Ascendant gear. It's pretty much just special tiered Ascendant gear, and it allows you to switch stats, and the same goes for weapons. But as a new player, you kind of don't want to worry about Ascendant gear until later, after you have your full exotic set for whatever class you want and whatever class and profession and stuff like that you're going to be doing. You will need crafting to acquire a Ascendant set, because you do have to craft it. This game has a very large crafting platform. It's really cool, actually. You craft so much in this game, to where, I mean, you can buy stuff straight out with gold, but at the end of the day, if you want the very best stuff, you're going to have to leveling the crafting profession that is required to level up whatever, you know, type of weapons that you want. So if you want Ascendant weapons and stuff, you're going to need whatever profession. Like, see, I have weaponsmithing at 500, and I have artifactor, whatever this is. I can't even pronounce it right now, Raffle. But as you can see, I have Grandmaster. I'm a Grandmaster weaponsmith, which is 500 weaponsmith, and I can craft Ascendant weapons, as you can see here, blades and swords. Actually, I needed to actually craft this sword at some point, but anyway, I don't want this to be too long. But as a new player, when you're leveling up, you're just going to be grabbing everything you want. And if you do end up buying something off the marketplace, I believe you can buy up to masterwork at level 14. So once you hit 14, you can buy 2 masterwork weapons, and these weapons will help you out tremendously. But as far as armor, armor doesn't really matter. Just wear whatever you get while questing, and later on you're going to be aiming to have Ascendant, fully Ascendant gear. I'll do a video purely on gear at a later point. I don't have any of my legendaries on me, but if you watch any of my other videos, I have legendaries on just about all my characters, and I can talk about that more later. But that's the idea for gear. So you have been doing everything I said. You've been leveling, you've been doing some, you know, map completion and all that stuff, and maybe that's not your thing, or maybe you just like to switch it up. Maybe you want to do some PvP as well. Well, here is competitive PvP. Now, this is really cool because this is controlled PvP inside of an actual arena. Now, I'll go and show you guys this right now. At level 3, this becomes available to you. Okay, so here we go in the PvP lobby. Now in the PvP lobby, you can do a lot of things. If you look at the mini map, it has these little markers on here as well, where you can waypoint to places, right? So you see portal to Lion Arch. This is the market waypoint. This is arena waypoint. Over here you have training. So I'll click on the training one. So as you can see, they have training golems here, and if you run up here, they have some more, and these represent the type of armor that classes wear. So you have, in Guild Wars, you have classes that wear 3 types of armor. You have heavy set, you have the medium set, and then you have the light set. So that's what these 3 dummies represent. Raffle. That right there represents fighting a lord in the Battleground. I'll probably be able to show you that a little bit later. And then they have test dummies that are based after some of the classes. So you have Ranger here, Thief there, Engineer there, and as you look around, there's more. Then there's a setup for an AoE situation. Some of you guys might remember this view right here. This is where I took all the thumbnail shots for my class videos. If you guys haven't seen that and you need help on what class to pick, I have made videos showcasing all the classes and what they're about and their subclasses. As you can see, there are more test dummies here to test on. And the cool thing about this is once you're in here and you get here, once you hit level 3, you can hit these PvP swords and just enter this area, and it will teleport you here. And then here you'll be able to click on this PvP build and you'll be able to switch around your weapons. You can buy gray weapons up there that will allow you to switch out to any weapons you want. And while you're in here, everyone's equal. Everyone uses these things called amulets. Now, amulets is kind of like a set of gear. They act as, you know, essentially just a set of gear. So like Paladins is a certain gear that has certain stats, which are power, precision, toughness, and vitality. This will make you tankier, but this is more towards physical damage. And then you have Rabbits, which is kind of like the same, but for condition damage. So it gives you toughness, precision, which is crit, and then condition damage. Condition damage is like damage over time. It's like things that affect you in a negative way, kind of like curses. I can describe them as something that like a warlock would use. You know what I mean? So you have Viper, Amulet, which is a mixture of damage, and you guys kind of get the point. You can choose whatever stats you want, and then these are kind of like enchants. They're runes, which runes are runes. You pretty much place them in your gear in the outside world. I'll show you here. So I have these 6 places, and as you can see, I have an infusion in them, which is for fractals. I'll show you that, guys, later. And then you have Superior Rune of the Scholar, and I have 6 of those, and I put those runes in your set and they give you bonuses. But none of this gear here in my equipment matters. None of this stuff matters in there. Once I'm in here, everyone's equalized and everyone goes off of this. You're able to switch your weapon to whatever type of weapons you want to switch them to here. And you can see your stats right here, and you can see that the stats vary depending on what amulet I have equipped. Now, mind you, like I said, the amulet is kind of like the stats that you would normally get from a set of gear. So in no way is this just a regular necklace that you just like equip. This is essentially all the stats that you would get for having that gear on it. And the same with equipping this one rune over here. It gives you the total 6 effect of a rune. And as you can see, you have a whole list that you can choose from. You make a lot of gold from this, so you can be able to buy more of these runes, as you can see here. I don't want any of these yet because I don't need them. I don't have any use for them right now, but you see you can unlock more and have more options available to you, and these are different. They're kind of like set bonuses, so that's really cool. So after you find your build, let's actually just go pick a random build here. We're gonna pick one from Path of Fire. You guys won't have Path of Fire if you're a new player. It's one of the expansions, but like I said, I have videos on that stuff. You guys just look for it. But we're going to do one match for you guys. And I'm just going to, please don't comment down asking what build I use for my Necromancer. I'm just going to use a random build that I picked. Here it gives you some recommended builds right here, default builds, and there's 3 of them that you can choose from. If you don't have the expansions, you'll probably only have one selection, but that one selection should hold you over until you kind of understand how your class works in PvP. Now let's skip till the match. Okay, so here we go. In Skyhammer, I don't know why every time I record, I end up, like, you know, on this map. But typically how it works is there's 2 teams. Usually one is red and one is blue. Okay, and you're in, the PvP in this game is more, I would say, objective based than just killing, which is really nice. It gives off a very casual feeling, so you don't have to, you know, if you're not good at coordination or something like that, like there's just, for whatever reason you're not the best player or whatever that you can be, this allows you to pick a certain job and focus on that as you would in a raid or in you know, a player versus environment type environment. You get what I'm saying? So as a Necromancer, my favorite game mode is world versus world, and I'm gonna show you guys that next. But right now, we're going to continue on with this. So I like to be in group type fights. I don't like to 1v1 people It's not that I'm not good at it. I just feel like it's just a little bit too stressful for me, if that makes sense. I think PvP is really stressful for a lot of people actually, but right now I'm not sure if we're going to win this, but you guys kind of get the point. It's kind of like King of the Hill, where it's just capture and hold. I don't know if capture and hold is what like King of the Hill is I mean about, but I kind of think it's like about that. So there's some people that are always going to be better than you in this mode. So if you're the type of person that is like very competitive, this could be fun for you. It'll offer a challenge for you to hold and capture. As you can see, we all went all in on mid, and they decided to capture the two sides, which was a much more beneficial deal for them, to be honest. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to run through this whole thing. I just kind of wanted to give you guys a little, like, you know, preview of this. So I definitely will not be doing this whole match. I don't want this video to be like 1,000 minutes long. I have so much more stuff to show you guys. So on to the next. So here we have World versus World. And World versus World is a mass PvP capture, hold, fort, castle, siege type gameplay. As you can see, there's 4 massive maps. There is a 5th map, but this is something that people really don't play anymore. It's called Edge of the Mist. It was an alternative for people that just wanted to do casual World versus World. Now, as far as servers in Guild Wars 2, this is the only thing servers matter for. As far as, you know, PvE and everything else in the whole entire game, you can do everything cross realm. Only thing you cannot do is World versus World, because World versus World is server versus server versus server. So as you can see here, I am on Maguma, and we are fighting against Tarnished Coast and Fort Aspenwood. Now, internal battleground, it's always their queue. So this is what this is. This is a queue. This is not how many people are in there. There's actually a lot more people in there than this. This is large scale battle, and I actually can't get in there to show you guys right now. I will probably try to grab some footage from one of my PvP necro videos to show you guys. Now mind you, it's not very skillful or anything like that. I'm not claiming to be a pro. I just want to show you guys some World versus World gameplay. But the idea of this is capture and hold, and as you can see, it's color coordinated by who owns what. So all the red people own this territory, which I believe the red people are Tarnished Coast. Yes, they are. And our people are, Maguma is blue right here. Now this varies every week. This resets and you're versus a whole new set of servers. So if you're big into that and you want to do this, this is still a very populated version of the game. You can't come in here until level 60 unless you purchase one of the expansions. I believe if you own one of the expansions, you'll unlock the full capability of the game and you're able to come in here before level 60. But until then, until level 60, you cannot get in here. You know, so it's, and the reason why it's like that is because this is very competitive and it's very large scale, which I love. Like, these maps are ginormous. So here's the clip. Okay, now that you guys seen that, let's go on to the next part of the video. Okay, here we go, collections. As you can see right now, I have 2 legendaries equipped to my first loadout, and then my second one I have another legendary, and as you can see, they're leaving these little steps. I know you've seen those videos where people have those awesome swords that leave little things on the ground, and that's kind of what legendaries do. They're so cool, and I have them, that's why I have them in collection here, because they're kind of like cosmetic. And then as you can see, as you use them, they have effects and stuff that they deal with as well. So as you can see, this mace is kind of like a disco mace, and then this axe is like a frozen dragon axe, but it's legendary. And then I have my legendary two-handed hammer, and as you can see, it turns me to like some type of metallic. It turns your armor like all metallic like, and when you swing with it, it has some type of like metallic weapon effect as well, which is really cool. So that's legendary weapons. There's so much more stuff for you guys to collect. As you can see, I have equipment here, but I'm going to click here, and as you guys can see, oh well, wardrobe, and you can collect all sorts of things, and these are account bound. The only thing that separates them is what you can equip them to. So if it's a heavy helmet, you can only see heavy helmets on heavy armored class. And as you can see, you can kind of go through this and make up your own wardrobe, whatever type of wardrobe you actually want to make up. As far as gloves, you can try all sorts of different types of like animated gloves and really cool gloves in this game that does all sorts of things. So Instagram is like spamming my computer right now for some dumb reason, but I'll try to fix that in a second. Shoulders, as you can see, I can change shoulders, and on top of that, you have dyes. Now, dyes are account bound, so it doesn't matter where you acquire them. As long as you acquire them, you have them on all your characters. Now, as you can see, I can permanently keep dyeing everything once I collect. Hold on, give me a second, guys. Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry about that. Something was spamming my Instagram. It was very annoying. Okay, so here we go. You can actually mix and match some of these, and that's actually why I love this armor that I actually have on him. I'm actually trying to get the full set. Let me see if I can go back to wardrobe and see if I can put some more of that on. But right now I don't really have I don't have all armor on him right now to be able to change it. But as you can see, some of this stuff you can just like, maybe I can have this like baby blue, this right here, so you can just change it to any color you want. And as you can see, all these are locked, so you can collect all of those, right? And then let me see if I can show you guys some more stuff. Miniatures, right? You have dyes. I just showed you guys wardrobe. I showed you guys any armor piece that you get in a game, you're gonna unlock the skin for it. Even when you break them down or sell them, you should always acquire the skin for it unless you put it in a marketplace, therefore surrendering the skin. So don't put it in a marketplace if you don't have the skin. So you have miniatures here, and there is a buttload of them, as you can see, and you can collect these things for days. I mean, forever. There's just so many. Holy crap, it just goes on and on and on, just about every mob. And these are pretty much like little pets. They don't really do anything. It'd be cool if you were able to fight them kind of like you can in some other games, but you can't really do anything with them except for collect them, which is really cool. Some people love to collect stuff like this. You can get a miniature version of just about every NPC in a game, so that's really cool. So after that, you have finishers. Finishers are only used in PvP when you down somebody. So PvP are world versus world, any type of player versus player. Once you down them, you can finish them in style. As you can see, there's a bunch of these as well to collect, and you can collect these by doing structured PvP and getting them as a reward, or you can buy them from the actual shop. I'm not going to go over shop stuff here. That's stuff that, you know, I'll make a video on later. I already have a video actually on that, a guide for newer players and like things that you should buy from the shop. But you guys kind of got an understanding of finishers. They're just a way to finish people in style. My favorite is the Nintendo Explosion, which I think is absolutely the coolest thing ever. I don't even think it's on this list right here, which is kind of sad. Oh no, here it is, I think. Yeah, this is just really funny. You just when you jump up and you slam down on them, and then this big explosion comes. It's so satisfying. So I actually really want this one right here, and actually I think it's available right now. Nope. It actually, oh yes it is. It's available right now, and it's on sale. So I might actually get this at a later point. So before, I have 12 hours to actually get it. So anyway, on to the next thing. So after finishers, You have mail carriers, which are not really that cool. What they pretty much do is when you sell stuff to the marketplace, because in this game you can sell stuff to the marketplace no matter where you're at, and what will happen is this little guy will appear and fly off with it, as you can see. This quaggan, if you had this one, the quaggan would drop your mail off, or send your mail out. Let me see. This one, I guess it shoots a firework. This one, a bird flies by every time you receive mail. It makes a little sound. But that's really cool. I didn't know I had one of those. You have glider skins, which are pretty much whenever you glide. You won't really know about gliders. Gliders is something that's adjacent to the Heart of Thorns expansion. So if you wanted that, you would have to get a Heart of Thorns expansion to even be able to glide. But it's really cool because if you're like an elementalist, you can be in a bubble. You can ride a lightning. There's so many different ways to customize your character in this game. It's absolutely nice. It's absolutely beautiful. And I'm not doing a good job right now of showing you guys some really good fashion. I pretty much only care about power, so I go for that type of stuff. And now you have mounts, and mounts are adjacent to the new expansion, Path of Fire. So you can only start collecting these skins once you acquire that expansion. But as you can see, all sorts of mount skins, and I believe you can only collect these through the marketplace as well, sadly, but it's still pretty cool. And to be honest, you get so much stuff to do for a free game that it's actually kind of worth getting this stuff and getting the expansions and stuff like that. It's definitely worth your money, because think about it. I've played so many games where I spend 60 $50-$60, and I play the game for like 4 to 12 hours or something like that, and then that's it. I never get to play that game again, which is kind of sad. You know what I'm saying? So as you can see, they have so many different options for skins and stuff like that, and this one looks really cool. That's really dope. But yeah, that's it for collections. You're pretty much doing that. And also, I'll add achievements in there as well. This game has achievements. You guys all know how achievements work. They have them in every game. And these are all the achievements. You can actually go through all of these things or whatever and just achieve until your heart contents, because there are thousands of achievements in this game. And I'm telling you right now, it's going to take way more than 4 years to get through all these. There's people that have been playing the game since it come out that do nothing but achievement stuff, that only have but so many achievement points. I have like 30,000. There's people with 30,000 achievement points, stuff like that. But I'm just telling you guys, if you like collecting and achieving and achievements and all that stuff, this game has achievements and collections for everything. It is so nice to log on and have a character that is fulfilled and have all this stuff. Now, some achievements are adjacent towards some of the expansions, but trust me, there is more than enough achievements to go around with just a free game like it is, and it will take you years to finish all of these achievements. There's so many, and it feels so good getting them as well, or working towards them. There's actual groups that do nothing but achievements and stuff like that. The game has jumping puzzles, all sorts of cool stuff like that. On to the next subject, guys. Hey guys, this is the last part of the video, and this part is kind of tricky. I know I'm in the PvP lobby, but I'm going to be talking about in-game and Guild Wars 2. Now, in-game is kind of like what you make it out to be, like what you want to do. There is multiple different things that you do have available to you. One of them is Living World, and what Living World is essentially a campaign. It farthers your actual character's storyline and the game storyline as well. And it's really cool because if you're like a person that loved your personal story and you're sad that you kind of ran out, well, that's essentially what Living World is. Living World is kind of like content that continues on to your personal story. Now, you can do this in a group, but most people do it solo. I do the living story with my wife. Most of you guys, I don't know, most people, like I said, most people usually do them solo, depending on where they're at, or if they're all caught up, they might do them in a group or something like that when it first releases. And that's a really big thing for people that love player versus environment. On top of that, you have fractals. Now, fractals is, the best way to describe it is randomly generated dungeons, and they're not super random, but they kind of get harder as you go on. And I'll make a video in the future, like specifically, segregating these things or whatever, so you guys can kind of see them. You know what I mean? Because I won't be able to put all the information from these things, so I'm just mentioning these things that are in game. There are raids in this game. There are regular dungeons that you can start way before you hit level 80. The best thing to do is to go on the forums and find a guild. I know applying for a guild, some people are kind of over that system in this day and age, but to be honest with you, if you want to join any guild that's worth anything, that has some stability and a great foundation, you really need to go on the forums and look for a guild. And if they sound like a guild that you want, don't let an application discourage you or whatever from joining those guilds, because group play in this game is everything. I'm telling you guys will have so much more fun if you find a group of players to actually play with. Okay, another thing is raids. Raids are a thing in here, and also you want to find a guild that does those as well. I don't know much about raids, so I'm going to, if I find somebody, another YouTuber or something that knows more about raids and guild wars, I will link theirs. And you guys feel free to link other YouTubers that specifically does like raids and stuff like that, and give people raid information in the comments and stuff. I don't mind. It'll go to a place where I'll have to approve it. I'll check it out, see if it's okay, and then I'll approve it. But in game, in this game, is whatever you make it. Like for me, in game is just being a completionist, just completing everything on my character. Like, so this is my engineer, and he hasn't yet really completed anything. Actually, I can't really show you on this screen. Let me see if we can actually go to achievements or whatever, but like he still hasn't. I haven't even started my personal story on him quite yet. Now this is my second engineer. I did do map completion on another engineer, but yeah, this is my second engineer, and I'm just, there's a bunch of stuff I need to work on. I need to do leather working, achievements. But like I said, some people in game, like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, for PvE, in-game for me is Fractals. I don't ever really want to raid. I'm not interested in raiding. I raided enough in most other past games to not really feel the urge to raid here. But Fractals I absolutely love. There's nothing more fun than getting up with a group of like 4 or 5 of your friends and going into a dungeon like scenario and just banging them out or whatever, and just like, being rewarded for that. That right there is everything I need in the PvE aspect in this game. Now for PvP, my end game is world versus world, and I've stated this on many of my other videos. If you guys need help trying to choose what class you want to play, I did upgrade a class video. So actually on the Guild Wars, I think it's called all 9 classes. I did link updated link in the description of that video, and also on the comments, linking you guys to a playlist of new videos that I just made showcasing every class and all of their subclasses in the game, in each of them 9 separate videos. So that way you don't have to worry too much about my rambling. But that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much, and I'm going to try to make videos less big like this or whatever, and more like towards a certain point in the future. But I guess felt like there was a lot of information that I wanted to get out to you guys. Thank you guys so much for all the support. God bless.